What if you could get a 21% increase on people signing up for your freebies, all while not being sucked in to doing social media all day long? Are you ready for today's podcast? Because it's going to blow your mind. Let's go. Hi, friend. All right. Before we dig into today's podcast episode, I want to share something with you that's been on my heart for a little bit, and that has to do with overscheduling. As we are headed into back to school time and then into the fall, I know we're still sitting in August, but things are going to go really fast. I want to challenge you to look at your schedule and cross a whole bunch of things off. The reason for that is last spring, I had this feeling to keep my schedule open this summer and just be available. And that's what I did. I leaned into it and I went through and I crossed off vacations. I crossed off the busyness of life just to be available. And by doing that and having that openness, I was able to step into some amazing opportunities. Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins, I was able to go stand on their stage, which, I mean, that's still like mind blowing every single time I think about that. Speaking of 42,000 people. And if I had overscheduled or booked a vacation, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And then a couple weeks ago, Russell Brunson asked me to come up and teach e-commerce to his community. And that was absolutely it filled my soul so much to be able to do that. And I think as entrepreneurs, we get going a million miles a minute and we're like in the hustle and grind and go stage all the time, that by doing that, we miss out on a lot of opportunities out there. So I'm telling you this just to prep you as you go into this new season, this new fall season, and then we get into fourth quarter. Look at your schedule. Are you overbooking yourself so much that you don't have opportunities, or opportunities come and you have no space to fit them in? I'm not saying stop with the work. I'm not saying with the go. I'm just saying be available. Be available for opportunities. Watch for them because some pretty dramatic, life-changing things, I believe, are headed your way. All right, let's dig into today's podcast episode where I'm talking with Rachel Pedersen. Now, Rachel and I've had the blessing to be able to get to know this woman over the last 4.5 years. We actually met at an inner circle event with Russell Brunson. And I have seen her start a TikTok account and explode it to, I think she's at 1 million followers over on TikTok right now. She's very, very close to hitting 100,000 followers on YouTube. Her Instagram is pushing 150, maybe it's 200,000 right now. And she really is what everybody calls her, the queen of social media. Now, social media, when I say that, I sometimes struggle with social media. I don't want to be on there all day. I know it can be such a time suck. And so I wanted to bring her on to talk about how she runs a social media company, how her title of the queen of social media actually only does social media 2 hours a day. And then we're going to dive into how she's leveraging social media to increase her organic traffic by doing something she calls the 3 Bs. The 3 Bs, take notes. It is brilliant. We're actually going to start implementing that in our business because of the conversions of getting people that don't quite know you yet into becoming customers of yours. Okay, so let's dive into today's podcast episode. This one, get ready to rock your world. Let's go.
So some people call me the queen of social media, which I almost laugh as I'm saying that every time. Basically, I'm a Minnesota-based mom of 3. I help businesses to grow, aka explode, their social media and their sales from social media, as well as teaching people how to become social media managers. And I've had some really awesome experiences in that journey, as well as building a pretty decent following across pretty much every social media platform.
How many followers do you have on TikTok?
823,000.
Oh my gosh. Didn't you just start TikTok like 2 days ago? I swear.
Feels like it though.
But you were one that saw TikTok and you're like, I see the power of that. I'm hopping in. And now you're almost 1 million followers on TikTok.
Which is kind of crazy. And I was just thinking about this the other day, Allison. Like when I started creating TikToks, they were so cringy because there was no handbook on TikTok. And so I started creating, striking out. And then finally something started clicking. And I was like, ooh, this is fun. Especially because it took everyone else 2 years to even consider using TikTok.
Yeah, I still haven't considered it, actually. I think I went in and reserved my name, and then I logged out, and that was it. Okay, so we're talking to entrepreneurs who are like, oh my gosh, I got to be on Instagram. I got to be on Facebook. I got to be on TikTok now. I've got to be on Clubhouse. And they just feel a little bit overwhelmed. So we could dive into a whole bunch of topics on TikTok, but how do you even start the entrepreneur's journey into the social media world without them saying, I'm out, I'm going to watch Netflix and eat chocolate in the closet because I just am too overwhelmed with everything?
Oh my gosh, I love that question because I've felt that as well. And I bet you have too at times, right? Everyone telling you you have to be everywhere all the time. You have to be pumping out content left and right, completely leaving out the fact that they have a content team of 60 people creating all of their content for them. And when you are a mom or a parent or someone who has less team to support you in this, you actually have to, first and foremost, protect your mind, protect your energy, and protect your calm. Now, this means sometimes you're going to have to completely shut off the advice from some of the most amazing gurus on social media. And that was some of the toughest times for me, was recognizing they're going to say, be everywhere. Don't make excuses. Create a bajillion pieces of content per day. And as much as we would all love to, that would be great. That's not always reality. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you is you don't have to be everywhere to build up successful social media platforms.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Okay, so let's talk about your strategy, because you're not on social media for 15 hours a day. You limit your social. And so what is your process to get it? You're on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. Like, how do you do that process and get it out?
Okay, for sure. So I'm going to give like a best day and a worst day scenario because there are definitely both. Mm-hmm. So on best days, when I am disciplined and focused and time blocked and making sure that I'm clear on what needs to happen, I spend 2, maximum 3 hours per day creating content for every single social media platform. That is a highly, highly active business across all social media platforms. Mm-hmm. But also keep in mind, like, I know exactly what to do. I get in, I get out, I'm done, I'm off, and off to sports practice with my kids. So that's a best day. Mm-hmm. The worst day is I log on to social, I get distracted. I suddenly start thinking that I need to turn everything up times 10, or that I need professional photo shoots and I need to look all fancy and try harder, or that I need to show up bigger. And then I start watching TikToks for an hour or two. And these days absolutely happen too. So I shoot for more best days than worst days. And the only reason that I'm active on all platforms is because my job as the queen of social media is to actually know these platforms so that I can support my clients, my students, my mentees, specifically with each and every platform. And if I didn't, Allison, I'd probably be on 2 platforms maximum.
Okay, I just want everybody to hear what Rachel just said about she is the queen of social media, and yet she spends 2 to 3 hours max on social. Like, this is your job, your full-time job, and you're not even on social media all day long.
Right. And one of the things that was huge for me was actually diving into time studies of where I was spending my time. Now, here's the cool part. It's actually terrifying. We all have a built-in time study on our phones with screen time reports. And have you ever looked?
Oh, yeah. I have to track mine, because if I don't and I don't have reminders, I forget. I lose track of time. 3 hours later, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've not done a dang thing. So yeah, I literally set timers to give, like, you're off, Allison, you're off. Okay, keep going.
Yep. And so that was huge for me, was becoming first and foremost time aware. Where am I spending all of this time? And I started to actually keep my journal by my desk and write down what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, what I'm actually doing. And the feeling and thinking is really important because I realized that most of this time being spent actively marketing myself, and I'm doing the air quotes the whole time, was actually comparison, studying,
Oh,
research, aka really just wondering, am I doing good enough? Is there something better? Is there a shiny object I'm missing? This fear of missing out, like all of those things were coming in the name of research and studying, when the truth is it's just keeping us from actually showing up.
oh my gosh, that's so powerful because we can write. I was on social media studying, but all those other feelings that are coming out, looking at someone like you who has almost a million followers on TikTok, and you're like, oh, I should be doing that and that. This is not market research. This is just like spiraling to like paralyze yourself of
Oh my God.
inaction if you're not doing anything.
I'm going to share a few more things too, because I'm really glad I've had some breakthroughs here. I used to spend way too much time on social media producing less than half of the content I'm producing now. So I want to be clear on that. I used to spend 2 to 3 times this amount of time on social media producing half to a third of the content, which is just wild how that works out. But I started to realize that a lot of us are unconsciously picking up our phones and scrolling. And that's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's nice to be like, I just want to not pay attention, but you have to be careful sometimes. And I started to make a decision. If I'm going to scroll on social media, I have to actively write down and announce, okay, I'm just going to disassociate on TikTok for 25 minutes and literally set a timer. Otherwise, 2 hours later, oh, you discovered the time portal. What just happened to my 2 hours?
Yeah.
So we started adding another strategy in, and there's several ways that you can do this. I have 2 phones, and this isn't
Do
I do.
I want to know how you carry them both around at the same time.
I don't. That's the best part. So this phone has all of my worries, fears, anxieties, workload, to-do list, everything on here. This has all of my social media platforms, my email, my schedule.
Okay.
And when I pick up this phone, things feel heavy because I'm thinking about all the things to check, all the things to do, all of the projects that are looming. And this phone has Duolingo, my camera roll, text messaging with family and friends. I have no social media apps on this phone. And I started realizing that you need to be able to distance yourself. The only reason I went for 2 phones is because I kept leaving this phone in my office. So if I wanted to check this phone, I was actively recognizing that I had to step into work mode versus just unconsciously continually checking social. And I realized I needed the ability to text friends and family and take pictures of my kids. So that's where I got the second phone. But you can even delete social media apps for weekends or even evenings.
Okay. I love that because if you're out with your kids, how tempting is it to just pick up your phone and scroll? And then they come to you and they're like, Mom, watch. And you're in the middle of a scroll and they're like, oh, my mom. And we don't want to grow up with our kids thinking that we're so busy. Or my biggest fear was I was the hang on, mom. Like, hang on, kids, hang on. And they would call me the hang on, mom. I don't want that. So I love that you do that. Like, there's no temptation for you when you take that phone.
And one of the things that helped me, Alison, too, was because I was one time at one of my kids' soccer games and I had this phone and I was doing fun scrolling at the game. And my daughter yelled, oh, this was like one of those moments where it was like, no, she yelled from the field, Mom, stop working. You're always working, in front of all of the other parents. And I was like, but I'm not even working. I wanted to defend myself so badly. And I realized my kids don't know the difference. So now my kids know flower phone means I'm not working. I'm taking pictures or texting. This phone means I'm working. And so it's removed that temptation to just sit there and scroll instead of being present.
How old is your daughter?
10 now.
Oh, that's so impactful coming out of a mouth of your babe, right?
In the moment, it didn't feel super impactful, though. In the moment, it felt like I just wanted to like go hide in a cave or something because that insecurity was called out in front of everybody.
Yeah.
But I realized this is a moment where I can do something about it or find solutions so it doesn't seem like I'm always working. Even
I
when
love
I'm
that. Because, when you're taking pictures of your kids, the kids are like, is she on her cell phone or is she working? And now you're like, no, flower phone's fun. Let's do this. I'm collecting memories. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so we've talked about like how to not get sucked into the time trap of social media, and time blocking, or like saying, I need to recognize this emotion. How do I feel on social at this moment? How do you create videos and maximize that time when it is social media time? What are some suggestions you have for that?
Super simple suggestions, because a lot of times people will give you all of these pieces of equipment or tools that can actually complicate things. And I really love simple. I'm a huge fan of simple. All of my TikTok videos are shot on a cell phone, just this basic cell phone. And then all of my YouTube videos up until recently, only because now we're making the sprint from close to 100,000 subscribers to the next big milestone, which is 1 million. But
On
up until
YouTube?
this, yeah, we're at 80 something, 85,000 subscribers. It's just
Okay.
wild.
You are the queen. You are the queen.
It's been so fun. But I will tell you that as long as I thought I needed a fancy camera to record, that prevented me from recording YouTube videos. And the second I started using just my like Logitech webcam, the basic webcam, like I started creating a lot more videos and getting a lot more traction. So that was huge. And I'm only now upgrading our equipment only because I have the discipline of creating video down.
Mm, that's so good. That's so good. I mean, look what you've done. Almost 1 million followers on TikTok, almost 100,000 followers on YouTube, and nothing fancy.
Nothing
You
fancy.
were showing me your lighting before, and as I'm sitting here glaring at the sun, we apparently don't have drapes up in this house yet. But your lighting is very simple. You're not in a huge, massive studio. You've
Nope.
just got some LED lights in the corner.
Yep. Super simple, like those daylight or refresh LED bulbs. I like them because they create consistent lighting that kind of looks like the ideal natural lighting all the time. And
Mhm.
it picks up everything beautifully. And then I don't have to overcomplicate anything. And I have all of the fancy lights. Allison, the second you tell me I have to bring out fancy lights, all I can think is my 3-year-old's going to run in and knock over the lights, and I'm gonna have broken glass all over my office, and who's gonna get hurt? And like, can't
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So I
You
need it easy.
I've been there, done that. So I quit buying the fancy stuff. I have one ring light and it's not working right now because nothing beats this sun flaring in my eyes. Okay, so I love all this stuff that you're telling us. The new entrepreneur, um, what is how do you get people to respond to social media? Is it the TikToks that you convert to Instagram Reels? What is the best thing that you're seeing convert right now in the social world? And I mean, convert is
I
in
was
cells. Like I love in the beginning, I wrote it down. You said you help people make cells, not just grow famous, because we know lots of famous people who have no money.
Yep.
But to actually create cells, what is the thing that you're seeing right now for people to be able to do this?
We started doing something a little different a little while ago, and we started bringing this into 8 to 10 figure companies because we started seeing so much volume of sales from organic social using this weird system. That sounds like copy, but it's actually how I'm describing it. We started leading with value on everything. So if we want to sell one of our offers down the road, we are going to lead with value with a 3B bundle. So it's 3 pieces of content that serves 3 different needs. And people are always like, what? You're giving all this for free? And it's time after time after time again, we're creating these 3B bundles. And
What does that mean? What's a three?
uh,
Are you saying the letter B?
a 3B 3B bundle. So
Yeah.
it's
What's that?
3 freebies put together.
Oh,
It's, see, that's what happens when I get clever with names. It's like super confusing, but 3B bundles is just 3 freebies,
I love it.
and they convert better. They actually convert by 7 to 21% more than just a single resource. And that's when we started creating these 3B bundles. No matter whether you have an e-commerce company, a coaching company, whether you're selling courses, start with extreme value on the front end, and you'll be amazed to see how your list grows and how much more responsive everyone is on the back end, thanks to a beautiful thing called reciprocity.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so give me an example of how you would do this either on a Instagram reel or a TikTok.
Okay. So when I create a 3B bundle, this will get like a little technical. So in case anyone's new, just don't let this stress you out. Feel free to take notes. But I like to create my 3B bundles based on pain points. So I say, okay, this person is feeling this way, and this way. Cool. So these three resources together will help them to feel a little bit of being seen, being heard, and having some solutions to those three pain points. So then I'm going to create a TikTok or a reel that literally calls out those three pain points and then offers the solution, which I created with those pain points in mind.
So will you do the 3 in a 15-second TikTok, or are you doing like a 3-part series?
I'll do all three in one TikTok. Mm-hmm. So it'll be like, do you ever feel this way? Or this way, or this way? Or there's a bunch of different ways to portray it. Sometimes I'll test out singular ones as well. And both work, which is pretty cool, because usually people feel all three. If they're feeling one, they're feeling the others because they're all related. Or if you do them in a singular series, they'll be like, wait, this is even more valuable because I also experienced this and this.
Okay. So then you say, go get my bundle. Do like a swipe up on Reels. How would you do it on TikTok? Apparently I don't use TikTok. Is there a place to link on TikTok?
On both TikTok and Instagram, I do everything as the link in my bio. And we have pages of resources, whatever's the most recent viral and or whatever content is the most recent, we move up to the top. And what's surprising to me is that people will click on those links way down the list, even when that's not what they're coming there for initially, because they'll come for what they think they need and then they'll find what they really want.
Okay. And so where are all those landing pages housed? Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I've got to do a 3B bundle, I wrote it down. I think really, I do. Then I've got to create a landing page to capture all those emails. How are you producing so many landing pages?
So we've templatized our 3B bundle funnel. And so every single time we just clone it, we use ClickFunnels. I'm a huge fan of ClickFunnels because it's easy. So we'll use ClickFunnels, we duplicate the landing page, and then just change out a picture. And they're super simple. None of these are long form copy. And change out the headline, the 3 bullet points, and then plug and play.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It's so fun.
So simple.
I really like simple.
And then, so once they get the freebie, then do you have like one email list that okay, thank you so much for getting this. Wait till you see next week. I'm going to send you this, this, and this. So you keep that list super active.
So we have a 10 email sequence that they go into after that initial opt-in. They do have the ability to purchase something right after they opt in, that tripwire, if they want. Every one of those freebie bundles has a tripwire on the back end. Sometimes it's perfectly matched. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes I just want to get the free resource out there and offer them something else if they want it. In a perfect world, they're perfectly aligned. And sometimes it works out that way. And then we have 10 emails that teach them who I am, my heart for people, give them more resources, including YouTube videos, our podcasts, where they can find more resources, my Facebook groups, and also nurtures them back to the tripwire if they didn't purchase. And actually, this is kind of surprising. 51% of our sales come from that automation.
That's so powerful.
It's so cool.
So powerful. So you feel like giving those freebies out there, like that's great. But if you were just to go out and say, hey, buy this thing, they probably wouldn't buy it. So you're totally leading with value first.
Yep.
And then they start to trust you and then they buy from you.
Yes. That was when we saw our email list explode for the first time. And it didn't just explode. I was kind of worried, like, is this going to bring what are called like freebie seekers, people who only want freebies, onto my list? And what was surprising to me was how much reciprocity, goodwill was built in by meeting people with solutions for what they're currently in pain for. And suddenly it was like everything we send to the list, they're super excited about. And it actually brought a lot of life to our email list too.
Oh, that's so good. So good. Okay. So we were talking a little bit before, you're on fire about something specific right now that actually doesn't have anything to do with social media. Want to talk about that?
Yeah. Okay, so I love reading. Alison, you like reading, right?
Oh my gads. I love it. I do a lot of audio because I'll tell you what, when I crack a book open, I start to get really sleepy. Because I like sit down, I'm like, oh, this couch is so comfy. And so I have to be
Yep.
moving.
I love that. And Audible totally counts. I don't care what anyone says. Listening to books counts as reading books uh, easily. So I'm super passionate about reading. I love reading so much. And so we actually recently, about 7 or 8 months ago, launched a book club, and it's totally free. And every month we all read one nonfiction book together. And it is so much fun. And we have 5,000 plus, mostly women, who all come together and we all just read this book together and enjoy the process.
So what's the book that you're currently reading right now?
We're reading Limitless by Jim Quick.
So good.
Have you read that book?
Good. He is a good writer. And I haven't read that one yet, but he is
Yeah.
a good writer, a good speaker.
Yes.
He is phenomenal. I've listened to him on a couple podcasts and I'm like, oh my goodness, this man knows what he's talking about.
And I love the way he teaches about reading and how, well, just, I don't want to give anything away, but I love the way that he teaches how to read faster. And I think it's super fascinating. So this book's been a little more technical and a little heavier. Like people have said, this is a little heavier versus like last month we read Believe It by Jamie Kern Lima. And the month, oh my gosh, that book is so good. And the month before that we read What I Know for Sure by Oprah Winfrey. And oh my gosh, everyone was bawling through the book. Like,
I haven't read that one. Thank you.
It was shockingly good and very honest.
I wrote it down. That's next. Okay. What are you going to read next after Limitless?
I announced on Friday. I've been going back and forth between a few different books. I'm considering How to Do the Work by the Holistic Psychologist.
I just got in her world. Like I just found out who she is. Yes. Mind blowing.
It's all so spot on all the time. Isn't it wild?
It's like, I'm like, how do you know what I'm thinking?
Yeah, exactly. So that's one I'm looking at. I'm looking at a few, but on Friday morning, I don't plan ahead. I kind of read like what everyone in the book club is going through, what they think about one book, and then I hand choose it. And people have sent us a lot of books and said like, pick our book. And we're like, no, that's not how it works.
You're the next book club, like Oprah's book club, or
wouldn't that be wild? It's so fun though. It's so fun. So Friday I'll know for sure, but I don't know yet.
I'll do this one. I'll do this one. Have you read Essentialism or Effortless by Greg McKeown?
Essentialism, I feel like I read a Blinkist on it, but I haven't read it.
Okay, I'm going to just put that one in your head.
Okay.
That one changed my entire life.
I'm like going to order it as we're speaking. Because
it's all about simplicity and all about saying no. And I don't want to give it away, but oh my gosh.
I literally just ordered it. Yay! I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, you have to let me know if you read it and what you think of it. And then his new one, Effortless, came out about why we make things so hard.
Yes.
He's like, stop it. Stop making things so hard. Make it effortless. And then he talks about how to make things effortless, like dishes and stuff in our work and our job that we have to do. Like, stop making it so hard. And anyway,
I need to read this book. I'm so excited about this. Okay, cool. It's going to be here on Saturday.
So how do people find it?
So if you go to Facebook and search for Rachel Pedersen's monthly book club, it's a free book club. And actually every month we pick 10 people and give them a free copy of whatever the book is for that month. So
and there's no charge. You're doing this for free.
Totally free. Yep.
That's fantastic. Kate, where can people find you? Thank you. You've given us so much. Fun. And I feel like you've taken the pressure of having to be everywhere and do everything and be on social media for 15 hours a day. Just get away, like knock it off. Don't do it. Yes. Do it. So where can people find you on social media? TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff.
Across the board, my handle is at the Mrs. Pedersen. That's all E's and a D in my last name. And you can find me pretty much on every single social media platform.
I love it. And thank you. One thing I want to just a little shout out. Thank you for showing how much you love your husband. And how you got engaged in what, like 2 days? No, married in 2 days.
Married in like 13.
13 days.
I don't think we were even ever engaged more than like 2 minutes, because he like proposed to me as we walked into the Chapel of Love at the Mall of America, which was
America.
Yeah. There's like a Chapel of Love. We got married at a desk.
Oh gosh, that's such a great story. And you've been married for how many years now?
Almost 8.
Wow, that's so fun. That's such a fun story. But I seriously love when people post about their marriage and you're honest. You're like, we butted heads.
Yep.
We had to figure some things out, but he's my greatest strength. And I just think showing patience and love and forgiveness in marriage, you represent that so incredibly well. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, Rachel. Everybody go get in her book club. Go follow her on social media. You will smile when you see her pop in your feed. Thanks, Rachel.
Thanks, Alison.
Freaking out with everything that Rachel just shared. I took massive notes and I want to go implement, especially those 3 Bs. Brilliant. Brilliant. Love it. So what I want to do is let's dive into the top 10 takeaways on what Rachel graciously shared with us. All right. Number 1, protect your calm. That felt so good just as she was saying that. Number 2, shut down advice from your favorite gurus. I know that's hard, right? I've had to do that as well because there's so much noise out there. You have the information. Start implementing. Don't learn more. You're going to get overwhelmed from learning and learning and learning and learning. Implement. All right. Number 3, you don't have to be everywhere and on every single platform. She's not, I'm not. It's okay because we're both still growing where we choose to grow. Diving into number 4, use time studies. If you're wondering where all the time's going in your day, time to start writing it down and studying where you are putting your time and wasting or actually doing really good things with your time. Number 4, scrolling on social media is not market research. I know. I had to learn that one as well. Number 6, I loved it, how she has 2 cell phones. I think that's pretty brilliant. So your kids don't think you're always working and that you're actually taking pictures of them or participating in their lives. Loved that one. Number 7, lead with value. That's going to build trust and that's going to make sales. Number 8 is the 3 Bs, where you combine 3 freemiums, 3 of them, and then they can go get those freemiums and then they can get on your email list and then you can start serving, selling, and all the good stuff that you want to do with your customers. Number 9, make sure your bios have your links to those freemiums. And then number 10, join Rachel's book club. It sounds amazing. We were actually talking a little bit before we started recording and some of the books she's read. I got in there and I was digging around. I am loving the books that she is choosing in her book club. All right, get out there, go do the work, make the money, put it in your pocket where it belongs. And I'll see you next week. Bye.